It's Friday. Thanks for joining us on TNT. It's going to be a very busy day and we've got a lot of news for you. Of course, the big story is what's going to be happening at 3 p.m. this afternoon when the fate of Prayut Chan-o-cha is announced. Will he return to the big desk in Government House or will he have a retirement ahead of him? There's going to be plenty of interest and fallout from this story, and we'll bring that to you along with everything else, with thanks to our sponsors 5 Star Marine on Tim Newton Today. And yes, a big day for Thai politics today, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens from so many spheres, both at the top and also at the street level, where we imagine if a handing comes down from the Constitutional Court, which puts Prayut Chan-o-cha back in the Prime Minister's job, there will be protests, and then what happens after that is completely unknown. But it's going to be a very interesting day. Let's see how that's been covered. I'd just like to note first that the Nation has gone right out of their way and they've prepared a whole lot of animation that actually sits on top of this story. The Nation, by the way, Nation Thailand, have gone right out of their way in the past couple of weeks to up their video game. They're doing a lot of video now, including, well, animations like that. But let's have a look at the story that they wrote. Well, they wrote it last night. It says, from today, General Prayut Chan-o-cha will know his political fate as Prime Minister. The Constitutional Court will issue the ruling today at 3 p.m. on whether Prayut has reached his maximum 8-year term. So let's see what this is all about. Now, if you don't know, there is some debate exactly when Prayut Chan-o-cha actually started his 8-year term. The constitution that was forged in 2017 and voted on by the Thai people says that a Prime Minister can't be the Prime Minister after 8 years in office. And on one reading, if you look at when he proclaimed himself Prime Minister and was given the blessing of the King at the time, back in August 2014, following the May coup, then he has served 8 years. But of course, that may not be when the Constitutional Court thinks he's served his 8-year term. So opposition MPs had submitted a petition saying that his term would end on August the 24th as per the Constitution. Well, that's their reading of it anyway. And the 2017 Constitution stipulates that an individual cannot serve as Prime Minister for more than 8 years. There's one school of thought that says it takes effect from the time the Constitution was promulgated in 2017, which means he's still got a few years to run if that's the date they choose for day number 1. And others believe that Prayut's 8-year term should be counted from the time he was sworn in as Prime Minister after the 2019 general election. That's going to mean that he's got another 5 years to run. That's if he's re-elected, of course. Just going further on that article, let's see what's going to happen if the court rules that Prayut can continue as PM. The term of the current House of Representatives will end on March the 23rd, 2023, after which we would have a new election. Or, if he's reinstated as Prime Minister, he can call an early election. That's up to him. Or option number 2, if the court rules that Prayut has completed his 8 years as PM, the nomination of a new PM will take place as stipulated in the Constitution. So that means that both houses of Parliament would have to sit and wade through the list of prime ministerial nominations from the last election and put somebody else in the top job until the term of Parliament has finished, which would be March next year. So we'll do a special coverage at 3 p.m. this afternoon when that announcement is made, and we'll bring you up to date with the fallout from that decision, any immediate reaction from commentators or the media. This is Tim Newton. Today it's Friday. Tomorrow we're doing our live program at 9 a.m. Thai time. Imagine we'll have plenty to talk about, and we look forward to sharing some time together and having a bit of a chat. It'll just be me and you again, because the person who is going to be helping me has had to drop out due to some unforeseen circumstances. That happens. Let's go to fallout from the floods. And Thai PBS saying that Bangkok increases canal drainage ahead of greater influx from the north and rain. All that rain that's been falling as a result of the tropical depression and all the rain that's been falling besides that, just monsoonal rain, is going to be making its way down the tributaries into the Chao Phraya and ultimately to the Thai capital. And that's going to happen sometime early next week. If it coincides with heavy rains in the capital itself, and I haven't checked the forecast, or even high tides, then it's going to cause real problems again. So that story from Thai PBS World, they say that the BMA is accelerating efforts to drain water from the city's canals into the Chao Phraya ahead of the arrival of more water. Down the bottom there, they report that the Chao Phraya is rising steadily as water is being released through upstream dams. And further, more rain has been reported in Rangsit and Pathum Thani, making it necessary for the city administration to accelerate the effort to drain water out of the city's canals. So areas there to the north of the city, the main city, noting that last time it was areas just north of the Suvarnabhumi airport that they were talking of re-urbanising a lot of Bangkok, and that was flooding last time. So Bangkok really needs to do a lot of work to sort out its flooding issues. It's not going to get any better. In fact, it can only get worse. I mean, Bangkok is sinking slowly. The sea levels are rising slowly, and it looks like the amount of rain that's falling when we get these big downpours is also increasing. All that adds up to problems for a city like Bangkok, and some 10 to 14 million people, whichever way you want to measure it, are in serious danger of long-term residency. So they're either going to have to move them or solve the flooding problems. And a quick thank you to 5-Star Marine. Probably today is not the best day to be heading out to the islands of Phuket, but even on these days they do find some breaks in the weather, and you can get some pretty nice days actually, even during the wet season. But there will be a few showers coming through the island today. But thank you to 5-Star Marine. If you are coming to the island, they're the people that you contact, and there is a link underneath the description on this video. Now, just some further fallout from the rains and the tropical depressions heading over Thailand. This from Thai PBS World, and it says 1 killed and 2 injured as tree crushes a truck during heavy rain in Sept. Now, 1 person died, 2 others injured when a falling tree crushed their pickup truck during heavy rain. So we know that storm sort of barreled into Thailand across the Laos border and the Mekong River around about 3 p.m. on Wednesday. And the first places it landed were those provinces close to the Mekong River, including Sept. The department said it's waiting for more reports of damage from other provinces in the path of the storm. So not much more left of that particular storm. Noru entered Thailand on Wednesday around about 3 p.m. and just slowly dissipated, dropping plenty of rain and flooding the areas as it passed through, but now leaving Thailand into Myanmar. Let's go to our next story, change of topic today. Investors seeking clarity on cannabis status. This story from the Bangkok Post. Investors in cannabis businesses are calling on the government to clarify its support as well as laws related to cannabis usage, noting that there's still ultimate confusion on exactly what you can and can't do. And there are people putting some serious money into both retail outlets and also cultivation. And we're talking about foreigners investing money into these products and these crops. Now, my understanding is that they would have to do that through a Thai company. Even through a BOI, a foreigner's not able to cultivate cannabis. But I'm not exactly sure about the laws, and neither are these people, and apparently neither is the government, because at the moment the cannabis bill has been shelved. Just going back to the story down the bottom, debates over how to regulate cannabis erupted following concerns over easier access to cannabis among youths after the plant was removed from the National Narcotics List on June the 9th. And then the removal triggered worries among health advocacy groups, while farmers and investors seek new business opportunities, as of course they're entitled to. Of course, there wasn't much debate about this. It was really just removed from the narcotics list without some sort of, community discussion or debate first, hence the current problems that we're having. And now a gentleman who is the chairman of the Dietary Supplement Industry Club and Herbal Industry Club says that the direction of cannabis usage in the country is unclear. The second paragraph saying that the ongoing problem has caused foreign investors who want to partner with Thai companies to venture into cannabis businesses to delay their investment plans. Well, they'd be well advised to do so because there is literally no legal standing for them at the moment. And then the third paragraph, if the problem cannot be solved, he says, Thailand will lose out in its plan to promote cannabis as a new cash crop and develop value-added products. Now, that story goes on. Jackie Ong, the chairman of the Cannabis Investment Summit World Holdings Group, says that this conflict could lead to a loss of confidence amongst investors, and he's, of course, calling for a clear policy. And that clear policy isn't really apparent at the moment. And with all the other political machinations going on, probably the last thing on a lot of people's lists. And it may be until after the next election and a new parliament where this bill will come back for further discussion. So I think they're well entitled to ask for additional clarity. And the man that they should be asking for that clarity from is Anatun Sharvirakun, the Public Health Minister, who unilaterally removed the products from the narcotics list back on June the 6th this year. Give him a call. So further to that story we spoke about on Koh Samui the other day, with a Russian man being apparently blackmailed to give up some of his cryptocurrency. This story from the Bangkok Post last night. 1 of 6 foreign suspects in Samui extortion case arrested. And I'm not going to even attempt that name, but the 37-year-old is a Kazakhstan national, one of 6 foreign men accused of extortion by a Russian business couple. He's been taken into custody by Chonburi police, and it says there that he was wanted under an arrest warrant issued by the Koh Samui Provincial Court for collusion in theft, physical assault without causing bodily or mental harm, and coercing people through implied threats. Now, I sort of speculated that the whole story sounded a bit dodgy the other day, but it looks like there are some people behind this story. And the story goes on that Evgeny, the 31-year-old, and his wife said that 6 foreign men confronted them in a coffee bar on Koh Samui. It was called the Boys Organic Coffee Shop. Even that just brings up so many questions to me. The Boys Organic Coffee Shop, good heavens. And the third paragraph, according to their complaint, 4 of the men arrived in a black van and the 2 others on a red motorcycle. We had a photo of that in our coverage the other day. The men intimidated them and demanded they transfer 3 million in cryptocurrency. That's about 113 million Thai baht. Now, the 31-year-old told them that he only had $58,000, or about 2.2 million baht at the time. Fearing for their lives, they transferred 50,000 of the cryptocurrency equivalent to the gang. And the story goes on saying that a Ukrainian national was brought in for questioning. Investigators said the man had booked ferry tickets to Koh Samui for the man who's been arrested and other foreigners before the alleged robbery. During questioning, this Ukrainian gentleman admitted he knew the Kazakhstani suspect but denied any involvement. But apparently they did find that he'd overstayed his visa. He was just trying to help the police, and he's been caught for overstaying his visa. By the way, Thai police, the immigration police, take overstaying visas very seriously. And down the bottom there, the Russian couple only this week filed their complaint, even though the events occurred back on September the 15th, because they said they were being followed by the gang and feared for their safety, according to police. So there was more to that story, and it looks like 6 people are now involved. And the story from the Bangkok Post goes and names them. There they are. And I won't read out all their names, but if you do know any of those names, or if you know their whereabouts, I think the Koh Samui police would like to hear from you. Let's go to our next story on TNT today, this one from Thai PBS World. 64 Thai alleged scam call centre workers have been deported from Cambodia. 64 Thai nationals who allegedly worked for a Chinese-funded call centre scam operators in Cambodia, they were deported back to Thailand on Wednesday. Down the third paragraph there have been recent crackdowns by Cambodian police on call centre scams, mostly involving online gambling, especially in Sihanoukville, where there is a high concentration of Chinese nationals. You could well say that little town, that pretty little seaside town in Cambodia, one of the only nice seaside towns in Cambodia, has been well ruined by letting Chinese investors throw so much money into it, into gambling, into building casinos, some monstrosities along the foreshore there, and that's just increased the growth and the proliferation of these call centre scams. To another little story today, this one from Khaosod English, saying that the Bank of Thailand has stopped distributing the 20 baht banknotes on Thursday after it discovered that the Thai and Arabic numerals on some of the bills did not match, and they're urging people to return them to the bank. So if you do have one of those polymer green 20 baht bills with His Majesty the King's portrait on the front, take them back to your bank and they'll give you some currency to replace it. And I'm sure they're not just going to take it from you and send you on your way. But it looks like they're recalling those 20 baht notes. There's a little bit of a mistake, perhaps a misunderstanding. Khaosod English also reporting that a political activist, there's a picture of her there, she says she's all dressed up, ready to go to join protests on Friday. The anti-government United Front of Thammasat and demonstration group of students announced earlier today that they will hold a major street protest if General Prayut Chan-o-cha was permitted to stay on as PM by the Constitutional Court. Yeah, just wait till after 3 p.m. today. If he's reinstated, I think we are going to see some protests breaking out on the streets of Bangkok. Well, actually, that I can be sure of that. To another story, this one from the Chiang Mai ambassador. Now, in fact, there's no such thing as a Chiang Mai ambassador, but somebody has proclaimed themselves as the Chiang Mai ambassador, imparting information. The information's good. Here it is, talking about public holidays in October. And on the 13th of October, there'll be the anniversary of the death of King Bhumibol. He passed away on October the 13th in 2016. The much revered King Bhumibol Adulyadej, who spent some 70 years on the throne of Thailand. So the anniversary of his death will be commemorated on the 13th, and the ambassador there suggests that you wear black. And then there's a holiday on the 14th, which is a Friday, and that's because the actual anniversary of the death of King Bhumibol falls on a Thursday. The government have added an additional holiday on the Friday to make a 4-day long weekend. Then on October the 23rd, Chulalongkorn Day, which is a Sunday, so they're having a public holiday on the 24th, the Chulalongkorn Day observed. So another, at least 3-day long weekend then. So Chulalongkorn, who was the 5th king in the Shakri dynasty, Rama V, and you can see his portrait along with King Bhumibol, and of course the current king in many shops who like to display portraits of the royal family in their residences. And just finally going from holidays to 2 stories in the Straits Times today pertaining to Thailand. The first one, Thailand does not want to promote cannabis use to travellers from nations that ban it. So this coming from a Singaporean perspective from the Straits Times, which of course is a mouthpiece for the Singaporean government, and making it very clear that they don't want to promote cannabis use in their country, even though they can travel for couple of hours on a plane and end up in Thailand. And the other story that was about Thailand today, come what may, Guy, is Thailand's possible Prime Minister. Anantun Sharvirakun, the head of the Bumjai Thai Party, has become the face of the nation's highly publicised cannabis policy. So that story tickling the interests of the editors at the Straits Times. If you'd like to read more about Anantun Sharvirakun, You can do so there at the Straits Times. His fate, of course, will also partly rest on what happens today at 3 p.m. when that Constitutional Court announcement is made. We'll do a special coverage later in the afternoon today, Thai time, to bring you up to date with that announcement. That is the end of this week of Tim Newton Today. We're back again tomorrow with a live program. I think we're going to have plenty to talk about. But from me here in Studio 1 in Phuket, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.